Hello everyone, it's me Jenny and welcome to my D&D show thing. So for today's first segment, D&D and Me, my session was a little bit chaotic. I came in a bit late, I had to work right until the last minute and got there about 20 minutes in. So by the time I got in there, the members of the party that got taken into the cult church in order to be initiated had rescued themselves using a very clever use of invisibility spell, and then they had met with an NPC that had been following us for the course of this trip, and the NPC had brought a distraction in order to help with infiltrating the town, and that distraction was an untamed red dragon. Great job, NPC, who I can't remember his name. He's something like Bellend. It's not Bellend, but I'm kind of going to choose to call him Bellend because that's easy to remember. It's so weird for me because I made such great NPC notes for the last two campaigns where the NPCs didn't matter at all. Like, the DMs did not care about the NPCs, they just threw them in for the sake of having some sort of texturing. Well, in this in this particular playthrough, the NPCs really matter, and I have terrible NPC notes. I have no idea who half the NPCs are, especially as I discovered in this episode, the NPC that had been following us brought this dragon and was super useful, and we defeated some cultists that were guarding like the townhouse where the leader was holed up, and that's who we're aiming for, and they summoned like 20 undead. So for the first half of the session we were dealing with this 20 undead being raised by these two priests. We got through this town hall with the help of this NPC that I'm going to call Bellend because that's his name. It's not his name. We got to the other end, and at that point the leader of the bear cult, whose like chosen name as leader is like Vanian, his name was revealed to actually be the name of the Lynch King's assistant. So that's another flashback, fast forward to our previous lives. If you haven't been following the last couple of D&D videos that I've been doing, you have no idea what's going on. But yeah, basically he had a past life as a very evil henchman, and he was confronted by this NPC Bellend, who revealed to be a different NPC. So confusing. And then they both turned into birds and flew off, chasing each other. The bird that Bellend turned into is the hawk, and for those of you who don't know, my character has this huge aversion to Destiny. She hates Destiny so much, and her spirit animal is a hawk, and so when a spirit animal magical tattoo thing appeared on her leg, she like wrapped it up, covered it up, and never looked at it again. And she has been seeing this hawk following her for the course of the journey, and she hates this hawk so much, and at one point she shot an arrow to try and take the hawk down, and in doing so clipped some of its tail feathers. And it turns out that hawk was the NPC that I've been choosing to call Bellend for the course of this video, so there we go. I have those tail feathers woven into my hair, so that's awkward. But yeah, and then we fought a young dragon and kicked its ass, and it took down our sorcerer with the same breath, but then as the sorcerer was to go on the next round, he was the next in the initiative order and rolled a natural 20 on his death save, so he went down and came back up again and really pissed the dragon off, and it was delightful. And I think I can't remember who got the final kill. I think it was the monk. I think the monk the monk fighter got the final kill with the dragon. He got the "how do you want to do this?" because our DM watched his critical roll, so he actually said, "how do you want to do this?" and it was awesome. And that was the end of the session. So yeah, it was a busy session. And yeah, that's the thing that's been going on with that. Hopefully next game, I think we're progressing our characters quite fast, so I think I got an email from the DM saying that we've kind of become heroes of this town that had been overrun with these cultists, so the actual townspeople aren't cultists, but they've been kind of ruled over by the cultists, so yeah. And possibly there's been some charm spells and whatnot going on, so that's really interesting. But my character hates responsibility and she hates destiny, so she's going to be really uncomfortable for the next episode, I think, because she doesn't want to be in control of anything. She just wants to be in control of herself. So yeah, that's going to be all exciting. Yeah. So, for today's D&D and Creativity, I've been working on a few things. I'm about halfway through my character art for my current character. I have updated all my character sheets for Tisa. So, look at that, it's all beautiful and colour coordinated. And I've got my druid spells and my normal spells, and that's my character art from my previous character a couple of characters ago. So about, as I said, about halfway, a third of the way through my character art, I have done the character art for Nightshade, my panther, in the picture. I've done the background, I've done like half the costume, but I've got to do the face, and the face is the hardest thing to do, and always is. Really struggling with the face this time. I've started it like 4 times, and each time I've been like, I can't get it right. So I've got to work on that, and once the face is done, the rest will just fall into place. It'll take me like 20 minutes to finish the costume, but it's just the face. So yeah, I'm working on that. I'm about halfway through, about 2/3 through my D&D themed costume. I've got the dress in and I've altered it so it fits a little better. I did one mock-up of the sleeves that I wasn't particularly happy with, and I've done my second mock-up, which I'm a lot more happy with. I just need to attach them, see what they look like, maybe make some alterations, and I just have to do 1 or 2 other trimmings and practice doing the hair, and I'm good to go. So that should come out at some point. And I think that's for D&D and Creativity. So for D&D and We, as in D&D in the wider community, Critical Role had a little gap session because a lot of the cast members were away. So they did a battle royale, which was really interesting. I find it fascinating when you can get characters who are there for a choice of character rather than a choice of player. You can't use certain spells because it's out of character. For example, Keyleth and Pike are very, very good characters, so you can't use some of the more necrotic damage type spells because they're trying not to kill people. But in a battle royale setting, in this out of canon setting, they can go all out. So they were using spells that they couldn't normally use, and they kicked ass. It was the last 2 girls standing, the 2 good girls, the 2 like true and pure characters. Were the last ones standing and the ones that kicked the most ass and had the most violent kills. So good on them. I've kind of, this first time ever with this character is when I've actually been like choosing things for the character rather than for a player. Like as a player I'm like, ooh, cantrip. I should get whatever it is, poison hand or whatever it is the cantrip. I can't remember what it's called. Where you like spurt poison from your hand and it's like a really good spell. But I was like, I don't think Tisa would really choose that one, so I chose Create Bonfire instead, which I think is still pretty useful, but is much more within her ranger druid backstory rather than like poison. I think she'd be a bit freaked out by that. So yeah, choosing for character rather than for player, all those things. Yeah, and obviously Sourcefed D&D finished, of course. Campaign 2 is now done, which was, I realised while watching this last episode, I still don't really view this as D&D, but if Sourcefed were to do a D&D, which they are, this is how they would do it. There's no other way they do it, because they like the poop jokes and the dick jokes and the ridiculousness and the abstract craziness, and that's how their brains work. That's where the humour comes from. That's their craziness. It's poop and dick jokes, and you know, silliness, and it's entertaining, and that's what they do. And I can't see them doing a serious version of D&D. Not that D&D is ever serious, but you know, that's my thought process that I had during this last episode. So they finished that campaign, and the heroes won. So there we go. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to comment, and I'll see you guys all very soon. Hopefully with something to show next week for my creativity. You never know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye guys.